Hi, this is Frida. I would like to show you how I have knitted this pattern. It's very simple. As you can see, it's mostly cable stitches. This is the front of the sweater. This is the neck. It's going to be a V-neck, as you can see. This is the back of the sweater. The yarn is 100% alpaca that I have hand spun. Okay, let's get started. Here is how I hand spun this alpaca. This is the alpaca roving that I have ordered. It's very soft. It's baby alpaca. Okay, I'm just gonna show you, demonstrate how I hand spun it. It's very easy. It's just regular hand spinning yarn. I'm doing single ply, just regular single ply. Okay. This is my spinning wheel. It's Ashford from New Zealand. And here's my doggy laying there, waiting for me to sit next to her. This is the sleeve that I have started knitting. It's about 100 stitches I added here. And the cable stitch is 4 stitches total. So 2. Cable stitches are mostly crossing stitches to one to another, on top to another. So here's a 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit. And when you're doing the wrong side, it's the whatever you see on your stitch you knit. And then when you're coming to the second row, it's if it's like knit, this is knit all the way, it goes knit. And if it's purl, you do knit. If it's purl, you do, if it's knit, you do purl. It's the opposite. And then this is how the stitch starts. And this one, again, 2 purl, 1 knit, between 2 purl, 1 knit, 2 purl. So here on the sleeve I have total of 1, 2, 3 cable stitch and 2 of this pretty pattern that we knit and then we do cross. So there's 2 of that. And then this opposite knitting, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, 5 stitches. I have 3, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. I'm sorry, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total of 6 stitches. Okay, I'm going to show you how I knit these stitches. We are starting the pattern. This is just a regular sleeve edge. It depends on how you increased your sleeve. So I'm just going to knit till I get to the pattern. This is I'm knitting with hand spun alpaca. Okay, and here we start the pattern. 2 purl, 5 stitches, knit the first one, purl. It's always the opposite of what you're knitting or purling. Knit, purl, and the 5th stitch is knit. Purl 2, and here is the cable stitch. I don't have my cable needle, so what I'm just going to do is I grab the 2 stitches, hold it from the back, knit the 2 stitch, put the 2 stitches back from the back to the needle, knit them, and here is my cable stitch. I did the cross for the 2 stitches. Purl 2, and here is the lovely 5 stitches. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. And when we're doing the 3rd row, what we do is knit and then knit this one on top, so it would be the opposite of purl. Purl, knit, and then knit. Okay, now we're doing the 2 purl stitch. Now here is my lovely pattern. What I do is, when I'm doing the cable stitch, I did it here. When I was doing the 2nd cable stitch, I skipped it here. So this is how it creates this lovely pattern. So you skip when you're doing the cross cable stitch. Okay, what I do is I grab the first. I have moved recently from one province to another province in Canada, so I don't have my cable stitches. I have it somewhere in my containers, but I don't know where. So I'm just going to use this regular needle stitch. I'm going to hold this, stuck it here so it won't unravel. The 2 purl stitch, I'm just going to hold these here and then knit this stitch so I can give that cross stitch. And then put the 2 purl stitches back, and I purl the 2 stitches that I put back to the needle, and I put that knit stitch back to the needle, and I knit this across, and here how the stitch happens. We have one more to do, so if you have missed it, we'll try it again, or you can rewind and watch it over again. And then we just purl the 2 stitches. Oops, my needle just fell down. And then we knit the 5 stitches we're working again. We knit the first stitch, purl, knit, purl, knit, 2 purl, again the 5 cable stitch, put the 2 on the back, knit the 2 stitches, put the 2 stitches on the back of the needle, knit them, knit the 2 stitches, and this is how we have the cable stitch cross stitched. Purl 2, 5 stitches again, knit 1, purl 1, one, purl one, and knit one. Again with that lovely stitch. I'm going to show you. Knit two, grab the knit stitch, put it on a needle securely, stuck it here so you won't lose it, it will not unravel. Grab the two stitches. You can use a cable needle to hold these, or you can just use my 2-finger to grab the two stitches. Those are 2 purl stitches. Knit the one across, put the 2 purl stitches back to the needle, purl them, then put back the knit stitch to the needle, knit that stitch, and here we are, cross stitch. Knit, purl 2, 5 stitches again, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 2, oops, knit 2, we're doing the cable stitch, knit the 2, put back to the needle, knit the 2. Here is our last cable stitch. Purl 2, and here is our last 5 stitches. Knit the first stitch, purl, knit the first stitch, purl, knit the first stitch, purl 2, and then knit the remaining of the sleeve edge. This is how we set up the pattern. Okay, and when you're knitting the wrong side of the work, you do whatever you see, purl the stitches, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and just continue on all the way to the end of the edge. And when you're doing the 3rd row, just do your regular knit stitch, 2 purl, knit 1, knit 1, knit the 2nd, purl on top of the knit on top of the purl, and knit on the 5th stitch. And when you're doing the 3rd row, just continue as you're doing the cable stitch. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 4, purl 2, again the 5 stitches. Do the opposite on each side, but the 1st and the 5th stitches are knit. Purl 2, and when you're doing this stitch, just continue knit 2, purl, knit, until when you come to this big, and then you do the cross. So as I mentioned earlier, what I did is I cross stitch the cable stitch, and then I skipped one here, and this is how it become long. Or if you want it tinier, you can do that as well. You can make it tinier, but for this pattern I did it this way. And then this is how you do this lovely pattern. It is very simple and easy. If you have any comments, please leave your comments on the bottom, and please like and subscribe to my videos. I am really happy to see your comments, your thoughts, your feelings. Please share my videos with your family and friends. Thank you very much for watching my videos tutorial.